Hey everybody, it's Seth from Coming Out Tarot. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, welcome. I'm doing laundry. I'm in my basement. I'm probably gonna go shut this door, so hopefully it's a little bit quieter. I'll be right back. Hang on. Hey Mutts. See, I'm in my basement, which is not where I normally am, because I need to get some laundry done. We were on vacation all last week, and we just got back, and I got a shit ton of laundry to do. But I have some stuff I want to talk about related to how to learn tarot card reading. So I want to share it with you, and I want to share it with as many people as you can. So please share it with your friends, and if you're not following me, please follow me so we can keep track of each other. While I'm talking about this, I'm going to be folding laundry. I'm just warning you. You shouldn't see any underwear, but you might see some socks. That's just because it's got to get done. And what better way to get it done than to talk about something I enjoy talking about and have you as company. So, that's the plan. Make sense? Everybody know why we're here? I don't want anybody to be surprised about not doing readings or anything. Readings are available at comingoutttarot.com if you're interested. You can always order those over there. Here, we're talking about how to get started learning tarot reading. Not like actually learning. You're not going to learn anything about tarot right now. You're going to learn how to learn. Because one of the things that I think... This chair's making weird noises. One of the things that I think surprises people when they get ready to learn something new, hey Gabe, is that they don't actually think about how they learn. Because we get so into, especially coming right out of high school or college, we're so into learning a way that other people have told us to learn for 18 to 21 years that you don't realize that there's a way that you like to learn, and there's a way that you approach learning. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, because when you start to learn tarot, it's such a personal journey that if you don't know how you learn, I don't think you're going to get as much out of it as you possibly could. So I want to talk a little bit about that, because if you want to learn tarot, I want you to get more out of it. I want you to get a lot out of it. So we're going to talk a little bit about understanding the fundamentals of how to learn tarot card reading, which is totally different than actually learning itself, right? So that's the plan. Hey, Undertaker. That's the goal. And by the end of our conversation, you should at least be able to get started reading tarot for yourself today. I mean, super easy to just get started reading for yourself. Challenge is actually reading for yourself. So that's the goal. That's what I hope is going to happen by the end of this. Hey, Melly. So that's where we're headed. Is there a delay? I'm assuming there's a delay. What's going on, Melly? I'm in my basement where I'm not normally at, so the signal may not be as strong down here. And I'm just so everybody knows, I'm doing laundry. So if you hear a noise, it's the dryer. I'm folding clothes. You shouldn't see any underwear, but you're probably going to see some socks. Show feet. So, all right, here we go. With the goal to understand the fundamentals of how to learn tarot card reading, by the end, you should be able to get started reading tarot today. There is a delay. Okay, yeah, it's coming through now. So I'm guessing it's because I'm a little further away from my a strong signal. So I'm going to continue talking, and if I answer your question a little bit later than you thought you put it in there, sorry, because of the delay. All right. So here's the thing. Hey, Triori. Here's how we're gonna get started. It's about a minute delay. Jesus. I don't think I can make it any faster where I am. Hey, Josh. That is a long ass time. I wonder what would happen if I put you guys like over by all my books. See all those books? And my headshot, like right there is a headshot from many years ago. I don't know, it might get better. Anyway, I'm gonna keep talking. So, here's what you need. If by the end of this you're gonna get started reading tarot today, hey Brienne, all you need is your own tarot deck. And if you don't have a tarot deck, what you can do is use an application, use an app that I would recommend called, it's called Tarot and Numerology. Hold please. Yeah, Tarot and Numerology. It's got this. This is the one that I would recommend. Don't have your own tarot deck. It's got free Rider-Waite-Smith in there. The Rider-Waite-Smith is this one that you're used to seeing all over the place. And you'll be able to interact with those cards the same way you would as if you had a deck. You just don't have the physical in front of you. So if you don't have a deck and you don't have the $20 to spend on it, or you are looking for another deck because you don't want that Rider-Waite, well, you can start with the Rider-Waite. It's free, it's easy, and then you can get the deck you want by paying whatever it costs to get that deck. The rules that I'm going to talk about right now related to how to learn tarot card reading are universal. This is more about how you learn and how you can get started with tarot than it is the meanings of the cards or how to understand the meanings of the cards. I'm just going to get you pointed in the right direction. That's the goal. So you need the deck. Couple other things that could be helpful. So these are alternative or supplemental resources that you may find useful when you're trying to learn tarot reading. Lots of books, and I'm going to explain those in a second. Live streams like this, where you can find people who are talking about tarot and what tarot is and how to interpret a card. So live streams like this, you can also find a lot of live streams or recorded streams on YouTube about how to read tarot. There's an interesting guy out there I just came across. Hang on, let me open up my YouTube so I can remember his name. Something Links. Links. Where is he? Here he is. Lucky Links. I'm enjoying watching and listening to some of his scopes. They're short, they've got some good insight, and it's another way to hear someone else's perspective, multiple perspectives, about tarot reading, divination, fortune telling. I read a great article today about the difference between divination and fortune telling. That was cool. So Google is your friend, so is YouTube, so are live streams like this. Pinterest, if you're surprised, don't be. Pinterest is a great place to find tarot stuff if you're learning. Because there are people out there, I mean, Biddy's on there, but there's also a couple people out there who put up infographics about how to learn tarot. And if you're someone who learns via infographic or via steps, then that's a great way to connect with tarot in a way you may not have thought was available, especially if you're already on Pinterest. If you're like a Pinterest fiend, search tarot on Pinterest and you're going to find a lot of cool stuff. You're going to find a lot of card pictures, but there are also people out there who are putting up infographics. So one final supplemental resource that I would add is podcasts. So there are podcasts out there where you can learn tarot, and the one that I would recommend right now is by the Tarot Lady. If you've never been to the Tarot Lady's website, she's pretty awesome, thetarotlady.com. She has a podcast called Tarot Bites. Hey, Ghost Gadget. And it's all one word. Laundry Tarot, yep. It's all one word. Tarot Bites, B-Y-T-E-S. Where she does these short little fun podcasts about each tarot card. So you get a great little story and you get some insight about how to think about that tarot card from someone who's been reading for much longer than me. With great insight, great experience, great attitude. And they're just short. So if you're looking for a podcast, I would recommend that. So those are some of the supplemental resources. Depending on how you like to learn, think about how you like to learn. Do you like to listen to someone while you're doing something else? Because a lot of you I know will get on here and listen to me talk while you're doing something else. In which case, that podcast by the Tarot Lady would be great. Do you like to see the steps laid out for you in some sort of image, graphic, chart, organized infographic flow type of thing? Pinterest is your baby. That's where you gotta go. And thanks. And if you're looking for that live experience, cool. If you're looking for that live experience, then this is another great way to do it. And in fact, the class that I'm doing, class that I'm getting ready to do, is going to be live. And right now it's going to be free because I'm doing it. You know what? I used to do it another way. Steve did it this way, and I just acclimated. Because I used to, we're going to talk about sock folding. I used to do it like this, right? And you just fold them in. But that stretches out the elastic. So instead, I tie them in knots. And that way the elastic doesn't stretch out. And don't think I'm not matching these up. Because I'm matching every one. Some of them have lines, some of them don't. Alright, so depending on how you like to learn, that's something you should think about if you're ready to learn tarot card reading, especially if you haven't been in a class for a while. Think about how you're learning. So I was just saying the free one that I'm about to do, I've invited a lot of people to it, and and if you're interested, you're welcome to join. The only payment I'm asking for from you right now is your honest, critical feedback to say, this is a great class, this is a stupid class, this is a great series, this is a bad series, here's what's missing from the series, here's what's overdone in the series. So I'm looking for some really critical, honest feedback, and that's the only thing I need from you. So you'll hear from me probably a lot going, well, what'd you think about this particular course? What did you think about this lesson? Is something missing from the lesson? Is something missing from the course? Is there something else you'd like to learn about? I'll probably survey you a lot. So you're going to hear from me as much as I want to hear from you. So that's another thing that's out there for you, is the live experience, especially if you're looking for something that doesn't cost. That's a great way to get your feet wet in learning tarot, is working with someone like me who's trying to build a class and is looking for feedback but isn't charging anything. Okay, other things that you might want to think about if you're getting ready to learn tarot is you're going to hear a lot of people talk about the Little White Book. And you'll see it shorthand, LWB, Little White Book. The Little White Book, and you know what? I just threw one away. I should have kept it. The Little White Book is that little tiny white book that comes in every deck of cards. Do I have one? No, they're all. I've got one upstairs, I think, but I'd have to open up. I'd have to open up the deck. So that little white book, it's the same size as the cards, a little bit smaller. So it's a little bit like this, about the size. And that little white book is full of card interpretations. And it's the most historical, general, common interpretations of the cards. She's got a lot of socks. So it's the most common interpretation of the cards. And if it is a specialized deck, you may find that the Little White Book not only has those common interpretations, but they've also got some additional insight on that particular deck itself. And for those decks that are even more specialized, like you've guys seen me use the Marielle Tarot. The Marielle Tarot comes with a book that is much bigger than a Little White Book. So here's a deck, here's the book. And it's not in color, but she's written a lot about her cards. And she not only wrote about the card itself and what some of the meanings might be, but she's also written about her inspiration for the art on the card. Hey, little dove. She's written about her spiritual journey in creating the deck itself, and in particular the card that she's given a description for. So there's the Little White Book, and then there are these larger books. So depending on the book that you have, you can learn the basics, and you can learn some of what someone else's interpretation might be based on their experience. And if they're the artist writing about their deck, you're going to get a lot more there too. For those of you that may have seen or purchased the Dust to Onyx deck, one of the most recent decks to be published, there's a lot of incredible insight from someone who created a deck in order to see herself and her cultural heritage in a deck. So her effort in the book is astounding. It's amazing. It's incredible and well worth the read. Other than that, sometimes what you'll hear a lot of tarot readers say, especially if they're teaching you, they're like, just ignore the Little White Book. Just throw it away. Well, don't fucking do that. I mean, you bought the deck. The thing came with it. You might as well read it and get an understanding, especially if you're not used to it. If you're not someone who's picked up a tarot deck before, and you're not someone who's been spending time reading, read the Little White Book. Don't listen to the asshole who says you shouldn't read that because they're better than that Little White Book. Fuck them. Read the Little White Book because it's there for a reason. It's there to get you started. And if you're ready to get started, then read the Little White Book. And then if you happen to get one that has a book like this, you damn well better read it, because you're going to find out so much more about the meanings of the cards through the eyes of the artist and the author of the deck. Hey, about proof. That's a huge induction, an introduction into tarot. So, one way to get started, one way to know how to learn tarot card reading is to read that Little White Book, or read the book that comes with the deck itself. Okay, I'm going to see if moving over here gives me any better signal with you guys. Hold, please. Let me grab my water. Okay. Now we're on the treadmill together. Little did you know. I'm gonna this exercise ball here. Keep freezing. It might be me too. I'm in a space that I'm not normally at. I'm in my basement. So here we go. That's the Little White Book. That's the conversation about the book that comes with the deck. Those larger books, because they're kind of like the super version of that Little White Book, explaining the intentions of the artist. Hey, Martin. So yeah, read that. That's how you get started. That's like number one place to go. Second, I touched on this a little bit, but think about what your learning style is. Like literally, how do you like to learn? Are you a visual learner? If you are, Tarot's going to be great because it's full of all kinds of images. But if you are, then YouTube is a great place to get started because you can have that deck out in front of you. You can be watching a video, following along, watching the card while they're talking about it, and having the experience of self-directed learning while seeing what you need to see, hearing what you need to hear, and definitely experiencing learning in the way that you like to learn. Thanks, Skipper. I understand there's a delay. I might do this again. I'm gonna get through, and then I might get started. I might just come back and do this again. The other things you might think about are step by step. Do I keep freezing? I really don't want to break this into two things. I might just have to go back upstairs. Is it pretty shitty? Is it bad, Melly? Is it freezing and bad? Hey, Debbie. Here, I'm gonna grab my stuff. I'm gonna take you all upstairs where it's better. Hold, please. We're going upstairs. You're all in my laundry basket now. It's okay for me, and I see you. Okay. Hang on. My God, this thing is heavy in one hand. Okay, well, I'm gonna get into a better spot. Okay, here we go. Hold, please. Up from the basement, onto the first floor, up to the second floor. Okay, now we're in the bedroom, so I'm just gonna get this set up. Intermittent. Okay. Hold. Let's make sure I got my notes here with me so I don't forget. Okay, is this better? Is it like not freezing now? Well, I might have to do this again so I can get it all in one thing. And is the delay better? Or at least less of a delay? Hey, Dave. All right, so I'm going to continue. I'm hoping it's better. So we were talking about learning style and how some people are visual and how this type of environment or the YouTube environment, especially if you're self-paced, is way better for people who are visual learners because you get to follow along with the instructor. So, and the best thing is that it's self-paced because you're not doing it with a bunch of other people in real time. You're like, wait, what just happened? You can rewind that video if you want. You can go backwards a little bit. You can just go forward if you're like, okay, I got this part. So that visual thing is kind of handy because you got your cards, laid out in front of you, and you're listening and you're watching about what's going on. And you're able to make some direct correlations, right? Yeah, better? Okay, thanks. The other thing is better for Skipper. Awesome. Lover, we're just on today with your DP2 over there. So the other thing is that step-by-step type of learner. Hey, Dragon. I was talking about this a little bit related to Pinterest. If you dig around on Pinterest for tarot pins, and you find some that are not just a tarot card, what you're going to find are some step-by-step type of instructions. In fact, if you search for Coming Out Tarot on Pinterest and you find some of my boards, you're going to see that there are some step-by-step type of infographics about Journey to Excellence, about how to work with a tarot reader, how to find the best tarot reader for you. You're going to find those type of step-by-step things, and you're also going to find from some other tarot readers step-by-steps on how to interpret a tarot card. There's a lot of that out there. Really what they're putting out there is what they think the tarot card means, but it's also a lot of generic common things. So I'm hoping to take that to the next level in some of the training that I'm going to be doing and push that out onto Pinterest too. But that's like future state right now. Which leads me to some people like to go through having an instructor, having training with someone live, where that training isn't pre-recorded and visual, where that training isn't just a step-by-step, self-paced, kind of on-your-own experience, but you're with someone where you can have the safety and the comfort of being with an instructor who's done this, who's been a tarot reader for a while, who can walk you through some of the steps that might work for you or help you to realize this is a step that you don't need at all. Just because somebody else says it worked doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And to have the comfort of knowing someone who's been through all of that to go, you know what, if it works for you, fuck yeah. And if it doesn't, then let that shit go. Is a really, I think, empowering place to be. It's a strong place to be. And if you like learning with other people, then being in a class with an instructor is a great way to learn tarot. Because not only, and it's a little intimidating, because you're going to be pulling cards and answering questions, and there's only two ways to get experience in that. One, you're going to do it for yourself, in which case you're going to get comfortable reading for yourself. But if you want to read for other people, you're going to have to read for someone else at some point. And the best time to do that is in a class with other people who are learning with you, because then you're all forgiving of each other and learning what the cards mean for you and how to read them and how to interpret them and trying to remember what they might mean because there's 78 cards and you have to add them all together. It's a lot. But if you're learning with other people who are there with you, who are there for the same reason, they want to learn to read for themselves or for others, that's a safe space. And who wouldn't want to be in the safe space? And I guarantee you'll go further, faster if you're learning with other people than if you were learning on your own. Because I love to learn on my own. Seriously love to learn on my own. But I know that this happens. Tarot happens faster when you're working with other people. I did, and Melly, I invited you to the Facebook group so that you can get connected with some of the stuff we've been talking about. Right now, the people who voted on the doodle poll for which day and time works best for them, it's split between Wednesdays at 7 and Sundays at 2. So I'm thinking about doing 2 classes right now, where I'll do one Wednesday 7 p.m., one And this is all Central Time, by the way. So it may be 8 for you or 3 o'clock on Sundays. So you just have to check out the Facebook group I invited you to. And then there's a link in there to the doodle poll. If you didn't get the email about the doodle poll, check out the doodle poll. Tell me which dates work best for you. Because I'm doing it via majority. And right now the majority are those two. It's split between those two times. Anybody else who's interested in joining me for a free classes that I want to work through in order to teach you how to get started with tarot, I want your feedback. I want you to share with me what you think of the classes, if they're useful, if they're not useful. There's even a poll in the Facebook group. And if you want to join the Facebook group, if you head over to comingouttarot.com/learntarot, just sign up. You'll get an email that asks you to connect with the doodle poll, tell me which time works for you, and it'll also send you an email connecting you to the Facebook group so you can get hooked in with everybody else. I've kept that group closed, so not everybody can join. It's just going to be this first class who's going to be a part of the group, so you all can interact with each other virtually as well as during the class time. Okay, going on. So how to learn tarot card reading. So we're continuing on how to learn tarot card reading, not learning tarot card reading itself. This is how to learn tarot card reading. So next thing you want to think about, besides your getting through your little white book, besides thinking about your learning style, are you visual? Are you step-by-step? Are you someone who likes to be instructor, classroom-led? Is how to handle questions. Because if you're gonna think about how to learn tarot, you also need to think about how to ask great questions of tarot. Because you're not just laying out a card and looking for it to tell you all these magical insights that you have no direction around. You need to be able to ask a great question. And I've got a whole, what do I want to say, lesson in this course that I'm going to be doing about how to formulate the best question. So just as a quick overview, one of the things you'll probably notice if you've been on Periscope with me before when I've been doing readings and I ask someone what they'd like to ask in order to do the reading for them, and they say something like relationships or career, that's a great statement, but it's not a question. You're not actually asking anything. If you're asking about your relationships, then I'm going to ask you, what about them? Because for me, and this is just an example, and insight into why that is not a true question other than it just being a word. When you give a general statement like that, you're not focusing yourself and you're not focusing me on what the most important thing is that you need insight and support on. So relationships is a wide topic. It could be familial, it could be peers at work, it could be boss and subordinate or reversed, it could be, I already said familial, it could be romantic, it could be platonic, it can be friends. So relationships is pretty wide. And if you zero in on one of those, so let's say we zero in on a boss and subordinate relationship, totally different than a romantic one, right? Now I've got somewhere to focus. Now the question is, what is it about that relationship that you need some support on? Is it that your boss is an asshole and you need to better understand the relationship, where they're coming from? How can you have a better relationship with your boss? What are the conditions surrounding this boss's assholeness? How can I best approach my boss? Those types of things are really, really specific rather than just relationships. See how that funnels and it narrows down into something clear and concise? That's the way you want to think about questions. You want them to be active. So when you're going to work with tarot, after you've read your little white book or whichever book came along with the deck, and after you've started learning, you've picked up a way to learn. You're either going to learn via YouTube, that step-by-step kind of Pinterest way, and self-instructed, or you're going to look for an instructor like me, then start thinking about what kind of questions you might want to ask so that when you're working with the tarot, you've got something to work with. So you want to think of active questions, like questions that would start with what, or where, or when. Where and when are more advanced questions. What is a great beginning? What are the conditions surrounding? What is the action I can take in order to X? What is the outcome of choice A versus choice B? The really, really hard ones, and the ones that I would recommend staying away from when you're just learning, start with will. Will he come back? Will he love me? It's just, one, it's weak and passive and it doesn't really get you anywhere. Two, it doesn't put you in a favorable position in order to get unstuck and move your life forward and be as effective as you can be in driving your own solutions. So will is never a great beginning of a tarot question. But it might get you to one. All right. So you want to think about questions, and a great place to start is with the word what. Then, some of the exercises that you can think about doing. So a way that you can get started learning tarot card reading today is understanding what the cards mean by reading the Little White Book. Then, think about what your questions might be. Use one starting with what just to get started. It's easier. Then do a card a day. You can journal about it if you want. You can blog about it if you want. You can vlog about it if you want. You can periscope on it if you want. Whatever the fuck you want to do, as long as you're interacting with those cards. Now, the card of the day is a couple different ways to approach it. You'll see some people do a card of the day and say, here's the Seven of Wands, and this is what it means for all of everybody who's watching this today. Or one of the things that I did was, and you can get linked into Mindfulness Monday over at comingouttarot.com. I do this for a week. So mindfulness is I pull a card, you guess a number, because there's going to be 3 different cards. You pick one, and at the bottom of the email, I flip them over and I tell you what they mean. And whichever card you picked, that's your card. So that's another way to think through a card a day. You might also consider pulling it at night. And I think this is one of the best ways to get to know your cards, your deck, and how you interact with it rather than doing it in the morning. Works different for different people. So this is not prescribed. It worked great for me, and I recommend it for other people. Pull it at night. And if you pull that card of the day at night, you can say, okay, I pulled the Queen of Wands. How did the Queen of Wands, and if you ask a question like, before you pull the card, what do I need to reflect on from my day? And you pull the card and you pull the Queen of Wands. Now you're looking at the Queen of Wands and you're associating it with the events that occurred during the course of your day and thinking, what is it about this fiery redhead or this stick or the way she's sitting or the cat or the way she's dressed, or the lions on her throne? What is it about all of the things in this card, or a specific thing in the card, that reminds me of my day? And that's a great way to get to know your cards and how they apply to real life situations. So that's kind of why I like doing it at night. Hey, boxing. But in the morning, it just takes a little more work. So in the morning, you can say, okay, tell me what the conditions are surrounding my day, or if you've got a big something coming up, meeting with your boss, tell me how I can be the most professional in this meeting with my boss, or how can I be the most proactive in this meeting with my boss, or how can I prepare in the most proactive way for this meeting with my boss. And you pull a card. Then you have to think about what that card actually means to you and what it's saying. You may need to look it up in that Little White Book, apply it to the actual situation you're asking about, and then let it go. You may remember it a little bit later, but at the end of the day, you're going to want to come back and take some notes, or during the day, you may want to jot down some notes about how that card applies to the situation that you pulled the card about. So that's a great way for you to think about how to learn tarot through the exercise of that card of the day. Then, here's what I want you to do. So in order to start doing this, in order to apply this right now, all you got to do is pull out your deck and start trying it out. Try the method that works for you. Try the YouTube videos if they're great. Sign up for the class over at comingoutttarot.com/learntarot. Go over to Pinterest and find the tarot pins that have step-by-step instructions about cards and how to read them. Get prepared to do the card of the day, whether you do it in the morning or in the evening. Think about journaling. So these are how you can learn. You just got to think about which one works best for you. So that's why the most important thing, hey Oaxaca, and the one that I keep coming back to is, what's your style of learning? That is the most important thing to figure out. If you know your style, then you can approach each one of these types of opportunities that I shared with you in the way that works the best for you. So real quick review, we talked about making sure you have a deck. We didn't talk about books yet. I'm still going to wrap up with that. Talk about making sure you have a deck. Think about the other resources you need, like books that you may want to read, live streams, infographics like Pinterest, and podcasts like the Tarot Ladies Tarot Bites, BYTES. Make sure you do read that little white book if you never have. Think about those larger books that come with the decks in case you have a deck that has a larger book. Definitely read through it because of the artist's intent. Think about how you can approach your questions. Remember, always if you're beginning, a great way to get started is to think about questions that start with what. I shouldn't say that always, but start with what. It's kind of an easier break-in because they're active, and it's less wishy-washy. And then do some activities like the card of the day, either in the morning or the afternoon or the evening, whichever one works for you. Check out Mindfulness Mondays if it's helpful, so you get an idea. And as you ask your question, look at that card. Read about it. Look at it and decide what stands out. Is there something that's most important in the card that you'll probably hear me say sometimes, this thing is standing out on this card right now. That's the most important thing I need to talk to you about. And that's the easiest way to get started. So, a couple other things you might think about, like other resources that could be helpful. In fact, I need to get Mindfulness Monday done. I haven't done it yet. I need to get that taken care of for tomorrow. Shit, I left my thing downstairs. Books that might help you. 21 Ways to Read a Tarot Card by Mary Greer. This is a little advanced. He's got a white book and a black book, Advanced Tarot Secrets. And what's the other one? Aphrodite's Book of Secrets? Oh no, The Easiest Way to Learn the Tarot Ever is the first one. If you're looking for something dense and collegiate, like a textbook, 78 Ways to Read the Tarot, or Tarot Wisdom by Rachel Pollack. And one that I'm just getting started on because I've always wanted to feel more comfortable with the Rider-Waite because I just really don't like it. I do like these authors, though, Marcus Katz and Talia Goodwin. They've done some great research on why this deck is the way it is, and so I'm learning more about that right now. So there's some great history in here about Pamela Coleman Smith and where she was living, where she got her inspiration, how she was working with Waite, and then they go through each card and talk about it, plus a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm kind of fascinated by right now. So for the tarot nerds out there, And then read everything you can get your hands on, because tarot is life and everything applies. So read. What kind of questions do you have for me? What are you guys struggling with when you're thinking about learning tarot? Did I bring that up here? No, I didn't. Okay. No questions? You're struggling yet. Seems overwhelming. Just getting started. And that's perfect. That's part of what's important to me, Melly, is I love to break things down into chunks that you can actually work with and use, so that you're not trying to do everything all at once. So it may be helpful for you to have someone like me to walk you through what's most important right now. You know what I mean? So you're not just doing everything. Similarly, Brianne, having it feel overwhelming is kind of being in the same space, because you're like, oh, I need to learn this and this and this and this and this and this and this, all before I can actually do readings, and you really don't. I've been learning tarot, and I'm still learning for 30 plus years. So almost 35 years I've been, and you keep learning and you keep layering and you keep adding on as you go. So you don't have to learn it all at once. That's why they call it a practice. That's why it's an art. That's part of the reason it's an art, I think. Because it is a true labor of love to learn tarot. What else? Anything else? If I had a nickel every time I heard that, I'm going to pull that deck out. Right, the one from Salem? You do, it's time. Hi, Minizek. So yeah, I'm thinking about starting that. My plan right now is to start the class on the 30th. Easy Tarot, and I believe that Easy Tarot is either Rider-Waite or really based on the Rider-Waite. Where'd it go? Let me see. Let me move you over here for a second. Oh yeah, it's got different images. It's based on the Rider-Waite, but it's It's kind of got like gold. It's kind of like the Gilded Tarot, but yeah. You know what's interesting about Marchetti? I think that's how you say his name, is Marchetti. Is he's not a tarot reader, but he's an artist who loves creating tarot. So like, where do I buy the? Like, this is one of his cards. You can buy tarot cards all over the place. You can get them online at Amazon. Yep. You can get them online at Amazon. You can get them at occult shops, bookstores. Barnes and Noble sells them. Actually, that's a Barnes and Noble too. Barnes and Noble, if you're going inside of a store, if there's a local occult shop near you, you can find a ton of tarot cards there. But most people, I think, get them online. Looks like you can probably find some on Etsy, if you're an Etsy person. Yeah, the Easy Tarot never. Hey, Karen. The Easy Tarot never stood out to me. It just never spoke to me. In fact, that's one of the lessons that I've got too is how to choose a deck, because choosing a deck is to me, it's a very personal thing, because a lot of us start out with the Rider-Waite-Smith, but at some point you're like, well, is this really what I want? And for some people, yes, 100% it is. For some other people like me, no. Because it just didn't speak to me, which is crazy because I'm a theater kid, and everything about the Rider-Waite has a theatrical background. Like, the people are actually, they're on a stage. They're literally on a stage with a backdrop, standing there in costume. They're Shakespearean characters. This is like a Romeo and Juliet. And that's because Pamela Coleman Smith was an actor and a set designer and an artist. So she painted what she knew. Yeah, if you look at the Rider-Waite-Smith, they're like, here's another one. He's on a stage with a backdrop. This is very Shylock from The Merchant of Venice. Justice. See, she's on a stage. All decks are not the same. And that's actually, for someone who has several decks, that's actually a pretty loaded question. Can you tell me more what you mean by that question? Let me find the Lover's card in here. I'll show you the difference. Don't knock it upside down. Come on, Lovers. Goodness. So in the Rider-Waite, this is the Lover's card in the Rider-Waite. Let me get to that in one sec, Mutt. And then here's the Lover's card in my favorite deck. What do you mean you've messed with them, Karen? And what do you mean you'd love to get serious? Tell me more. So, Mutts. Do they all have pretty much the same meanings, just different artwork? So, yes and no. They all definitely have different artwork. A lot of the artwork is based in the Rider-Waite-Smith because it's the deck that was most widely reproduced, that everyone could first really get access to. At least in the 70s, that there was greater access to, 60s and 70s. Prior to that, it was Solobusca and start reading the book. That's a great beginning. And in theory, like if your deck was just all pips and not images, so it just had do I have one up here? No. If your deck just had, yes, there are different decks with different meanings. If your deck just had the pips and no pictures, then you have to know what the numbers mean. Are there different decks with there? So, for example, the pips are just, it's kind of like looking at a playing card, a regular playing card. So 6 hearts with the number 666. If you don't know what the 6 means numerologically and numerologically with tarot, which can be different than a numerology's 6, then you could be lost in knowing what that card actually means if you're not just using your intuition. So intuition on top of knowledge is a very powerful thing. So there is a traditional meaning for every card. Originally, the deck was just 22 cards. It was all the major arcana. Then they added in all the other ones, the need for a cheat sheet. Yeah, and there are hundreds of cheat sheets out there. So many out there. The problem is not everybody's great at memorizing. So I think you have an opportunity to find those cheat sheets or use the little white book and start to learn what keywords work best for you. So you don't need like 10 keywords, but that's what you'll get in every book. What you can do, hey dear maiden, is find the keyword that makes the most sense to you right now. And then as you learn that keyword, if you want to add in another one, add in another one. Or if you want to work with reversals, add in the reversal. You don't have to do reversals right away. You don't have to think about all the things it could possibly mean. Start with one. Because just starting with one, that's 78 things to learn. Why would you want to learn 780? You can't. It's impossible. You need the experience. Well, it's not impossible. It's nearly impossible. It's very challenging. So learn one at a time. It's going to make your life easier. So no, all decks aren't the same. There are definitely decks with different meanings. For example, is this a good example? Couple things. One, the doing a reading that is impactful and look up what you really want. Fuck no, Michael. I would never say that. No. That's an interesting observation, though. So you don't look up what you really want. That's the challenge. The effort is, if you're going to start learning tarot reading, and for this conversation in how to learn tarot card reading, what you want to start with is the very, very basic, because it's overwhelmed. You can, like Brienne was saying, it's overwhelming. So start with one, learn that one, and then add on. That way, you will, like Karen wants to do, you will learn the meaning of all the cards, because you can't learn it all at once. You just can't. There's too much. Because you're learning what somebody else thought it meant for 100 some years. You're adding in interpretations that were layered on top of that over those 100 years. So it took hundreds of years for these meanings to come into play. And now you're trying to learn it like all in a month. You can't. So learn a little bit, layer, 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 layer. It's the easiest way to get started. It's the easiest way to get started. And even, Michael, I would even say, if you wanted to actually get started in a weekend, fuck the lower arcana, start with the major arcana. There's only 22 of them. Start to learn a keyword for 22 of them. And then it's easier to learn 22 things in a weekend than it is to learn 78. So start with the 22. Get a keyword down and start playing with them and practicing with them. Right? It's only funny because it's true. Hey, Steve-O. Thanks, Anita. Yeah, so I think those are great questions. I think the overwhelm thing is not unusual. That's why I think for some people like me, I love to learn on my own because I knew I could go at my own pace over years and years and years, and I didn't have to learn it all right away. And I read a shit ton of tarot books. I think it's an awesome idea, Mutz. The only thing I would encourage you to think of past that is if you're watching someone like me, for example, when I do a reading, what's going through my head at lightning speed is everything I've learned about that card. So everything I've read, all of the traditional interpretations, I'm layering in everything I know about the element related to that card: fire, air, water, earth, spirit. I'm layering in the numerological value of the card and the numerology version and the tarot numerological version, which are not always the same lineup. I'm adding in layers of, when you go 1 through 10, there's actually an active, a neuter, a passive throughout those decks, and you have to think through those. It does. I agree. And then I'm layering on top of that what I know about the deck itself, what I've learned about the artists and the artist's interpretation of the card, what I'm then, and if you're working with a deck like this, and for other people who learn astrology, because astrology isn't my strong suit, but it's something that I am, let me find one, aware of. Like, these cards have an astrological symbol assigned to the major arcana. They also have a rune and a Jewish letter. So on top of all those other things, I'm layering in an astrological symbol, a rune, and a Jewish letter, and what that all means related to this card. Plus, if you got the majors in there, then I'm layering in what the experience is of whether you're on an experiential state in your spiritual journey, whether you're in an internal state, or whether you're in a greater spiritual space. I do definitely go further than that, because see, so I'm saying if people are watching me, this is 30 years of making it look somewhat easy. I think, at least I assume it looks easy. And on top of that, there's moments for me where there's mediumship, where I am talking to people who are dead, and they're talking to me through these images, and they're changing and shifting. So layering all of that on top of being open to the messages that I'm receiving is something that's taken years and years to do. You can't do that in a weekend. But you can learn 22 keywords for the major arcana in a weekend, and you can play with that. Hey, Kush. So there's always a way to get started, and you really, seriously, I encourage you to think about how you like to learn, because that's what's going to carry you through, because it is a consistent experience. It is ongoing education. It is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But you can get started. I tell you all of that. I share all of that to say I didn't learn that overnight. I learned it over 30 plus years of going through a really intense deck, because this is not a beginner's deck, of being interested in the arcane and being interested in the occult and being interested in things like, what's handwriting analysis mean, and how does that play into personality? What about that art that I'm seeing at the art museum in Chicago? What is the symbol that this artist is using, and then finding it in these cards? What do color wheels mean? What does red mean? What does green mean to people? And what does it mean when artists use it throughout time, and has it changed? So it is an ongoing education with and outside of tarot. in order to better understand tarot and the human condition and sharing with other people. Melly, I think you'd do awesome at it. Because you already, I mean, half the battle of doing tarot is that you have to want to, you have to either want to improve yourself, which is part of the reason of doing it. Hey, Brenda. Or you have to want to be in service to others. If it's not or both. So like me, I use it sparingly for myself. And I use it to help other people because I want everything to be better than how I found it. Learning myself taught me a lot. It just took me a long time to learn myself. Of course. And Kush, if you're not signed up for the class, sign up for the class if you're interested. It ain't accomplished yet, but I'm getting there. I mean, it is seriously lifelong learning. It just keeps going. That's why I got this weekend. Head over to comingoutarot.com/learntarot. Just drop in your email. You'll get an email back from me asking you to do a doodle poll, which days are best for you. And you'll also get an email inviting you to the Facebook group so that I can approve you into the Facebook group. It's a closed Facebook group so we can all connect to each other. No, I've just been talking for a while. Oh yeah, that's my goal. That's all right. You don't have to have Facebook. Facebook is there to connect the students in the class because the class is going to be free right now. The only thing I'm asking from you is a lot of feedback about whether or not the lesson was great or it sucked or it's missing something, whether or not the course itself is missing something or if it's awesome. You missed what part? If you want to, yeah, I was sharing with Kush. If you want to sign up for a class, then I'm going to be doing it via Zoom so we can see each other. Head over to comingoutarot.com/learntarot. And it's going to be free for right now because everybody who's getting in on the free version, the one thing I'm going to ask of you is a lot of feedback. I'm going to be asking you if it's awesome, if it sucks, if the lesson's great, if the lesson's missing something, if the lesson's useless, if you don't care, if the course itself has the lessons it needs, or if it should have additional lessons which I can add. It's okay, anybody can get Zoom. You just download it. It's in the App Store or the Play Store. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. And it'll allow us to all see each other and talk to each other during the class. Classes would be about 40 minutes, probably 30 minutes with a 40-minute, 10-minute question. Because if I go over 40 minutes, then it ain't free anymore. So we're going to stick around the free version for everybody. Melly's tech support. And if you want to be a part of the Facebook group, once you put in your email, you get 2 emails from me. One, I've been talking for too long. One will ask you to fill out a doodle poll for the times that are best for you, because I'm gonna do maybe 2 classes so that I can. Great question. It's gonna be one of the swords. Probably for me it'd be like 7 of swords, 8 of swords. I have to look at them now. I'm in Illinois. Yes, 7 of swords. Not the Nine of Swords. Could possibly be the Eight of Wands too, but it's more swords for me. Six of Swords, maybe. Like if you were the tech... Nah, Six of Swords isn't tech support. Those are the people who would like set up the wires. Yeah, more Seven of Swords for me. It's interesting. Ten of Swords? No. That's funny. Great. Anything else you guys are struggling with? Anything else doesn't make sense? Because you can get started now. If you get started with that how to learn, you get started thinking about how you learn, then getting started in this tarot class is going to be super, super easy. Yeah, right. Michael, you're a tarot card reader? Hey, Karen. Not yet. Are you going to join me for this class? Or are you going to go start learning on your own? You read spines and energy. Have you noticed that I've been hunching forward? If you want to stay in touch about the class, then make sure you sign up. Then I'll have your email, and I'm going to be emailing folks as well. Because I'll email you about when it's going to start. And good, I don't either. I'm going to email you about. Oh, you're talking about this. Yeah, I just when you said that, I was like, oh, I've been slouching talking because my phone is like down here. No, it's a closed Facebook group. The training or the class is not going to be on Facebook. Class is going to be on Zoom. So all you got to do is download the Zoom app and make sure that you put your email in that comingoutttarot.com/learntarot. You'll get 2 emails, one for the doodle poll, one to welcome you to the Facebook group if you'd like to be there. The Facebook group is a way for you to interact with other people. I am doing a lot of conversational stuff right now about, like I've got a poll in there about which of these, I think I've got 9 or 10 things in there. Do you want to learn? So that people are ranking what's most important to them about what they'd like to learn. I'm still going to teach a lot of stuff whether or not it's ranked high or not, because I want to get feedback on those lessons about whether or not they're useful. So the survey was one way to get feedback about whether or not it's useful. I'm still going to teach it because I want to get the insight. If you go over to comingoutttarot.com/learntarot, throw your email in there so you can get the emails for the Facebook group and the doodle poll. The Facebook group is closed, and that email will invite you to it. Because I only want it to be for the folks who are working with me right now, because there's no charge for the thing other than your feedback and your insight and your awesome sauceness of this is great, or this sucks, or never do this again, you're horrible, or you're so awesome, you should find a way to expand this. You know, those kinds of things. Name of the class is... Okay. Yeah. Name of the class is Learn Tarot. Right now it's just something basic, Learn Tarot. I haven't thought of anything fancy, because really, we're there to learn tarot. And I got a lot of topics planned. I've got a place on the Facebook group where you can tell me about topics that are of interest to you, in case there isn't something there that I've already thought about. And I'm going to take it from a Tarot 100 through a Tarot 300. So if you think about it like college classes, there's going to be 100 level classes that I'm going to go through first. Then I'm going to go through some 200 level classes. Then I'm going to go through some 300 level classes. So I've got a lot of ideas about what I think I want to teach you. So I'm looking forward to hearing about what you want to learn and what it really means to go from 100 to 200 to 300. You sign up over at comingoutarot.com/learntarot. comingoutarot.com/learntarot. And if you just go to comingoutarot.com, it's right there on the homepage. It's a big Learn Tarot box. Yep, it's comingoutarot.com. Right now, the doodle poll has split between Wednesdays at 7 Central and Sundays at 2 Central. Depending on your answer to the doodle poll, I'm going to either do 2 classes or I'm going to do one where the majority is. So, Nueve, you're welcome. Thank you. Hey, Brad. Right? Wasn't it a great play on words? You got to come out as a tarot reader. You got to come out as gay. You got to come out about everything else that you do. You got to come out as a tarot teacher. You're like coming out all the time. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, it's right there in the middle. In fact, let me just show you. I'll give you an idea. Is that a girl shirt? No, it's McDonald's. Coming out, Grandma. So here, when you get to the, ooh, I like Burger King. There it is right there in the middle, Learn Tarot. Just click on that, and there's a place for you to put in your email address. All right. I need to put away my socks. And apply. So Karen, right now, it's free. Because all I want from you is feedback, 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 feedback. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it, Michael. I appreciate your sense of humor, and definitely appreciate your insight, especially as someone who's reading spines. That's fascinating. No, I don't work at McDonald's. Someone gave me this shirt in a contest. I won a trivia. I answered a trivia question, and they threw this shirt at me. Yeah, so Karen, it's free. All I'm looking for is the feedback side of things. You're going to hear from me a lot going, should I do this? Is this important? Should I should I not teach this? Is it useful? Is it not useful? Is the course set up? How should the course be set up? Do you like the content of the course? Do you like... no, because it didn't have anything to do with McDonald's. It was... It was Pride Week a couple years ago, and I answered a question about LGBTQ youth something. I got it right, and I got a t-shirt. And it just happens to be a McDonald's shirt with like a big heart. Am I getting trolled by an 8-year-old? Is that what's going on right now? I do have a heart on. Yeah. That's cute. So yeah, that's how it's going to work. All free, released right now. Once I get it all in place, then eventually this will be a paid course. It will be something that I ask people to invest in themselves for. So for those of you that are signing up now and getting in on the ground level, you're helping me build it. You're building what you want to learn with me. You're building what you want to learn with someone who's done this for 30 years. So I'm excited to share with you what I know. And half the time, you don't even know what you know. So I'm looking forward to hearing what your questions are, hearing what you're struggling with, hearing what your challenges are, hearing where you think you'd like to go, but you have no fucking clue if it's the right place or not. So I'm really looking forward to figuring all this out with you so that you're learning what you want to know. You won't. If I've got your email, I'll make sure and stay connected with you via email. So make sure you go over to that page. Cool. I don't know enough to even. Once you start getting into it, you're going to have all kinds of questions. Yep, I agree. Awesome. Thanks, Skipper. Good. You should get 2 emails from me. Make sure you do the doodle poll so I know which day and time it works best for you. You can choose more than one day and time. I'm just going to try and do it where the majority lands. And then you'll get a second one that invites you to the Facebook group if you want to be a part of that. And then I'll be sending out an email when I've got it all lined up. Do it, Michael. I'm looking forward to it. That's all right, Brenda. You're gonna get something. See, and that's why I'm excited is that you guys are gonna be able to learn together. That's part of the reason the Facebook group I think is gonna be helpful. Because you'll get to interact with each other and ask each other questions and be connected in a spot so that you can find each other. And if you don't have Facebook, that's okay. You don't get that extra little bit of like hanging out with people. Because I wasn't going to do Google groups. What? Brienne has lost her mind. I don't know what. Are you butt typing? What's going on? If you just Google Zoom and you can download it. Dragon walked across the keyboard. You have a dragon? Zoom. Oh, a bearded dragon. Cool. Yeah, I end up butt typing all the time. So if you go to zoom.us, it'll take you to a site that has a logo like this. And you just sign up. It's free. And then what'll happen is I'll send you all an email with the link for Zoom at the time that we're, ahead of time from where we're supposed to meet. And then when it's time, you'll just click on that link, open up Zoom, and we'll all be able to see each other and talk to each other. And then I order stuff. All right, everybody good? Anybody got any more questions for me? Yeah, you can use it on your laptop. You can use it on an iPad. You can use it on iPhone, Android. I did have a good vacation. Thank you. Craziest thing happened. We went to one bar and we were supposed to, and it was full. So we were going to go to another restaurant. We changed our mind, went to this third restaurant. The bar looked full. Some dude says, you know what, I'm moving. You guys can sit here. Gave us 2 seats at the bar. The bar was packed. Once we sat down, we figured out it was somebody's birthday. So my birthday was on the 8th. The dude I'm sitting next to, his birthday was also on the 8th. 2 down from him, the guy's birthday was in 2 days. 2 down the other way, so Steve was next to me. He was on the 10th. 2 down from him, the guy's birthday was that day. So we had a bar of everybody having birthdays that week. The bartender went nuts and started giving everybody shots. We were a little toasty by the time we left that bar. Yeah, it was crazy. That doesn't happen in anybody's lifetime. It never happens. It was nuts. Yeah, it was cool. All right, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. I need to take care of this laundry, and Steve's got some ribs going for dinner. Yes, Michael, please, 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 please do. I'm excited for this to be free for the moment and to get all the feedback I can. So, yeah, I think there's a little share link on the comingoutttarot.com/learntarot. You can share it there. You can also share out this if it's helpful, to give people an idea of what it's like to interact with me and talk to me, because if they're not ready to hear it's fucking time to get started and get your shit together, and they can handle that kind of language, then they just need to be ready, because it's going to come out of my mouth. I just want to prepare you. If that didn't throw you off earlier, it will come out of my mouth again, and I want to make sure everybody's cool with that kind of language, because it's not something I do like all the time, but it comes out. Like, get your shit together. Me either, Karen. I'm excited. You're in New York. All right. Did Melly bring you in here, Michael? Yeah. If right now because the dates split between Wednesdays and Sundays, I think I'm going to start on the 30th, Wednesday. My kind of people, and Sunday the 3rd. So either one or both of those days will be the first date. Yep, and I'm Central. So if you're West Coast, 2 hours earlier. If you're East Coast, 1 hour later. If you're in New Zealand, like one of the people who signed up, I'm going to try and figure out how to record it. I just haven't done it yet. So it's my understanding that Zoom will record. I just have to figure it out. So that's part of what I'm going to be figuring out next week, is how do I record it so that I can share it in the Facebook group. Yeah. Yeah, I know that other people, when I've used it with other people, they've recorded. I just don't know how it works with the free version. So I just need to figure it out. I've also never been the administrator side. I've just been part of Zoom meetings. So Camtasia. That sounds like a horrible 1970s dessert that you take to somebody's house, like ambrosia. I'll bet Melly makes ambrosia. Camtasia. Sounds like pot. Doesn't sound like pot. Camtasia. Cool. Ambrosia is not the shit. That's nasty. All right, you guys. I gotta get out of here. I gotta put these socks away. Thank you. It is not delish. It's nasty. And then I gotta go help wrap up dinner so we can get something to eat. So thank you, everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Make sure you get signed up. Make sure you fill out that doodle poll. And then join the Facebook group if you're able. And then I'll be sending out an email soon after we solidify some stuff in the Facebook group and with the doodle poll saying this is when we're going to get started. Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you, everybody. This is going to be really fun. And I'm really looking forward to your comments and your feedback. Don't hurt my feelings. See you all. Thanks, man. See you later.